You are listening to All Burgundy and Go Early, the Commanders pregame show powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. Sorry, it's the morning. It's the noon now. The Washington Commanders are home, scheduled to take on Chase Young and the San Francisco 49ers. The game starts in about an hour. I'm Wole, joined by my co-host Glenn. What's going on, Glenn?
What's up, man? Nothing much, man. Can you really say Chase Young over me? It's not really his team, but I understand why you doing it.
Come on, it's the homecoming, bro. I know. Look, I was ready for your Chase Young heat. I was ready for it. I was ready for it. When I came up with his introduction, I was like, as soon as I said Chase Young and the San Francisco 49ers, we know it's Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers.
That's right.
Add that sizzle.
Come on, add the sizzle.
Add that sizzle to it.
We got to add the sizzle. That's why Ron Rivera doesn't want my man Howell to get hit by Chase Young today.
He out there now. He can't help it. He out there, so he can't help it.
He can't help it.
And Leno and Wiley out. They can't help it.
Can't help it, dog.
They cannot help it. It is
what
it is. It is what it is. He may look. I'm starting to think Ron Rivera likes Chase Young. Now I think about it. Hey, real quick, hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel as well. Anyway, here's the rundown. We'll chat with our Fox Sports Radio Commanders reporter Felix Trammell. We'll talk about Sam Howell starting today. Also, Chase Young, Trent Williams, and Kyle Shanahan returning to FedEx. We'll debate if we think Quan Martin should be playing safety alongside Cam Curl. We'll also talk about the keys for Commanders' victory. Well, I don't mean you want to say victory, whatever, and predictions. And then finally, we'll make our selection. We'll select our Commanders fantasy football selection for the day. It's championship week for a bunch of fantasy football folks. All right, but right now, live from FedEx Field, we got our Fox Sports Radio Commanders reporter, Felix Trammell, on the pregame. What is going on, Felix?
What's up, brothers? How y'all doing today?
Doing well, man. How you feeling?
Doing good, bro. Doing good.
I'm here.
Right. You're here, man. How is the vibe out there, man? It's a homecoming for like 3 dudes out there from the Niners. So how's the vibe?
It feels like Candlestick Park. I did go to a game at Candlestick Park. It was windy.
A bunch of them, yeah.
A lot of 49ers fans. Yeah, feel like Candlestick Park. But it's definitely a homecoming for lots of people on that 49ers sideline.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because a lot of people don't know this, but this is actually the Washington. We know people talk about the Cowboys, but in like growing up for me, because obviously you had the Joe Montana, Steve Young era, there are a lot of 49er fans in the DMV. Like a lot.
If you remember us growing up, remember the 90 Redskins and the 19 Redskins, they lost to the 49ers.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're in was it 86? 80, there was another year they lost to them when 49ers won the Super Bowl. The 49ers
are talking about when they played the Bengals, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was that year. They lost to the 49ers in the playoffs.
83-84, I believe. That's 83-84.
Yeah, but conceivably they held Washington back from another 2 to 3 Super Bowls. So that was a healthy rivalry, and it always seemed like the 49ers won it.
They did. Like I'm not gonna lie, that's a team that always beat them. For me, in the 90s, I'll say the 90s. That's my I'm an 81 baby, but in the 90s where I'm really watching football thoroughly. Early 90s, like 90, even like 1990. The year after they won the Super Bowl, I think they lost to the 90s in that playoff game.
92. They lost to 92 in the wild card.
Yeah, wild card.
They won the first game.
Yeah.
And they went out there and they lost. And then the 49ers lost to the Cowboys in the championship.
Yeah, exactly. So, so it's wild. Like, I have a bunch of friends who are Niner fans, but I never call them bandwagon fans because they've been Niner fans since I was a kid. You know what I mean?
There's very few bandwagons. I think there was some black folk that hopped on when Kaepernick got hot. Yeah. But I think 49ers have been traditionally 49ers fans for years. Like they're not hop-ons.
It's especially in the DMV. So for you, Felix, who are some of the notable actives and inactives that folks should pay attention to, bro? It's a lot of them. I know there's a lot of them, bro.
Right, it's a lot. You can clearly see that Washington is giving up the ghost. A lot of young players want to see action today, and you want to see if they're ready for the prime time. And you got an angry 49ers team rolling in here that got smoked last week. Well, no, they got smoked last week.
Yeah, they got
Christmas.
smoked.
So, and with Dallas winning last night, the Eagles winning last night, they're on their tail, so they have to produce. So, but the inactives, I mean, everybody kind of was like, it was a call from upstairs about Brissett. I watched Brissett warm up. He looked like me. He looked 40. He's trying to warm up. Like he looked the part. So either he's a great actor, or he really did get hurt. And I think it was more on the lines he really did get hurt. And he's going to be the emergency third string quarterback, but he was not moving well at all. Okay. So it's definitely on Howell today.
Okay. So you think it's legit? It's not the room. A lot of people are like, this is fishy.
Yeah, so it seemed fishy, but that would have been something that would have happened a little earlier in the week. Like Friday was a really bad time for that to happen. But yeah, it's legit, and you got to look at it from Brissett's perspective. He's trying to audition himself for 32 teams, so he wants to play. So you got to take that into account. But he legit looks very labored, very stiff out there, and that's the last thing you want against a makeshift offensive line and one of the top defensive lines in the league. So
true. Glenn, you want to go to the next one?
Yeah, my bad. I was laughing at George's talking about.
I know. I'm gonna post that later. I got it.
I know. Laughing at George. Hey, Commanders quarterback Jacoby is out after being named the starter early this week. It looks like Howell's back as a starter. Though. Your thoughts on that? What is your thoughts about Howell being named the starter after he had already had his mind transition not to be a starter? And what's your thoughts about how is Howell's mind going to be today as a starter?
Well, I mean, I think in a way it takes some pressure off. Because now it's like, I wasn't supposed to start anyway. So now maybe I can just go play ball. Like, you got to look at it from that perspective. And I think that's how Howell kind of approaches things. I think more than anything, he was mentally beat up. And there was a lot of factors that went into that. But when your head coach has kind of hinged his job on you, that's a lot more pressure than people realize. So I think he was mentally beat up. Physically, he's been taking care of himself better than earlier in the year, but I think mindset-wise, he should be okay just because now he's really playing with house money. I wasn't really supposed to start, just go out here and play football. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it ain't no different than what's happened before. So I think that's the mindset that Howell will have today.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that he's tough as rocks, and I mean, tough as nails. I think, if Ron Rivera was hinging his career or his coaching career on Sam Howell, which is essentially, as we talk about on the podcast, as a rookie, that was a big mistake. You know what I'm saying? He's a rookie quarterback. Could a good showing today, and the Cowboys compel Howell to be the starter next year? He has a great showing today against the Cowboys. Can we kind of slate Howell as a starter next year?
He could, and a lot of people have jumped off that bandwagon very fast, but you got to look at it from a GM perspective. I got a plethora of holes on this roster to fill.
Yeah, man.
I got $90 million. I got these draft picks. What if I can build around this guy? So now I have this guy on a 5th round deal for 2 more years, locked in cheap. I can build a team around him. So if he goes out and let's say he throws 3 touchdowns, looks okay, they lose, that's fine. The wins or losses don't matter, but he looks like a credible quarterback. A GM coming in can say, hey, I can work with this piece because I have a lot of pieces to rebuild. Because we were talking about this earlier. It's going to be 60 to 70% roster turnover next year.
Yeah.
But one of those few areas that's going to probably be here is Sam Howell. So you have to look at it from that perspective. So a GM could easily say, hey, somebody might come crawling for a quarterback and I can get 3 or 4 more picks. I can revamp this roster while having a quarterback that's locked in. So he does have an opportunity there. Now, would that say a GM won't want to bring his own guy and draft his own guy? No, that could easily happen. But Howell will still be here as a backup. So, Howell can go a long way to solidifying his shot if he can come and produce against 2 of the hottest teams in the league.
Yeah, George said, Felix, I'm giving you the props, Felix, trying to get your flowers. George said, Felix speaking sense about building around Sam, but I can't see it if we are picking top 3. At the moment, they're 4. because of the Cowboys.
4 right now.
At the moment, they're 4, which changes a lot.
It does. And I
changes
think
a lot.
You don't reach, and I think everyone has got to get a quarterback. I think there's one can't miss quarterback, and that's Caleb. So if you can get Caleb,
I think Drake too. I think there's 2. That's it though. That's all I do. That's it.
And then you could say Jaden, but you're going to have to build your offense.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you that it's not as easy. I think there's 2. I don't like the Caleb hate. I think there's only 2. I think the Jaden to your point,
I think would be your second option, but let's just say it falls where two teams get him top 2, and you're picking.
That's
4.
what I'm saying. I don't think. So this is my point to you. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I don't think May or Caleb drops to 4 at all. Like I feel like
no, I don't think they do.
Patriots are definitely, since the Patriots are now slid at 3. They're getting quarterback.
There's
no way.
They're getting quarterback.
There is no way if it stays the same. There is no way you're getting one of those 2. There is no way.
Right. That means you go offensive lineman.
Unless you trade.
And you're losing the picks that you stockpile, which is one of the good things that this regime did at the end was getting those draft picks. True. So if you're going to give those up for Bo Nix, no.
Oh, heck no. No, let's not even talk about Bo Nix. If you go Bo Nix, you might as well keep Sam Howell.
Exactly. I mean, they're essentially the same age.
I'll say if you go Daniels too, like for real, because you got to do a lot.
Daniels is 23. You got to do a lot. So like, you got to do a lot. And I've had this cost analysis with people, and everyone's like, but I know what Sam Howell can do in the league. All those are question marks.
Yes, there you go.
Are all question marks.
Yeah.
They might be great. They might not be great. But I know with Sam Howell, if I say Sam Howell's at 85, he's a B quarterback.
Yeah.
I know he's a B quarterback. Versus someone might be an A, but they could easily be a B.
Yeah, and I want to add this too. Like, this is the thing. I compare it to if a situation with Caleb and May. It's like the San Diego Chargers at the time. San Diego Chargers, when they had Drew Brees, they had a bad year that first year. They were in the Manning Rivers bracket. Those 2 you had to take because you had to, right? Because you're in that slot. You're not in that. If you can't get those 2, like you don't have to draft the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like to your point. So if you're 1-2, yeah, I understand. How it works. 3, I understand one of those 2 guys just fall to you. I get it. I understand that. But if it's not one of those 2, like you said, Felix, the rest is a reach.
The rest is a reach, and you have to look at the entire roster. You need talent across the board. You're not because if you want to look at Carolina. They got the top draft pick. You saw what they did. He has nothing around him. Look at the season they're having.
Well, a lot of Carolina issues is not because of the talent. A lot of Carolina issues because they let the coach that should have been the head coach go.
Oh, they don't
got no receivers. I'm sorry. Also,
they
no receivers.
They don't know receivers. But again, when Steve Wilkes was there, this conversation for another time. I should bring Sheila on. But again, they was running the football underneath them, and they was winning football games with lesser talent.
Exactly.
And so I agree with that. And the culture changed. When you brought, and the culture was different when Steve was in charge. Again, we'll do a whole show on black football coaches not getting hired. That's a whole. I mean, I call it what it is. That's what it is.
Even here.
I mean, he improved that team and still couldn't get the job. And then you bring a coach in that only could last 12 weeks. What does it say about your organization?
Exactly.
You missed the opportunity that was in your house.
Exactly.
Well, with that being said, talking about missing opportunities in the house, Washington missed a lot of opportunities with these players that's in the house who are returning back home today. Like your thoughts on Washington and the homecoming of such for Trent Williams, Chase Young, Shanahan. What does Washington do today?
Raheem Morris too. I forgot about Raheem.
Raheem Morris, right? Along with Raheem Morris. How can Washington combat this?
I don't see how they can because I'm going to start with the head coach. The head coach has the mentality of disliking this franchise from the core.
I know.
That's from the core. Mm-hmm. So that's a family thing. They dislike this franchise. Even though Snyder's gone, there's a dislike there. 2, there's Trent, who gave everything to this franchise, who didn't like the way the Rivera thing was handled. Trent is the top left tackle of the last decade, guaranteed. Yes. So now you have that. Then you add guy who was supposed to be the face of your franchise, who you ceremoniously traded for a conditional 3rd-round pick. So now you got him and all of that. Then you have even a guy like Raheem Morris, who's a good quality coach. Look at your defense. Look at the 49ers defense. So it's head and shoulders. So I don't know how you can combat that. Now it's NFL. Anything can happen. You know, they're going to be pressing really, really hard because they've got to win this game. And can you slip up and make some noise? Yes, but it kind of all the demons of the past line up against you today, and they're everywhere. So it's not just it's just the head coach, or maybe it's just one player. No, it's everywhere they look. The defensive coordinator, the offensive, the head coach who calls all the plays, the best left tackle in the game. It's a young kid who's going to try to make a statement on the franchise and come back to his hometown. I mean, that's a lot. I don't see how you do that with. I don't want to say it's a JV roster, but you've got a young roster that's about to go out here in a bad spot on New Year's Eve. So I don't see how they do it, but
you still got your offensive guys. I mean, you still got your offensive veterans. That's there. I mean, of course, your mind is the open line. Your defense is a little weak, a little bit. That's the thing. You can't turn it into a track meet because it's gonna get bad. If it's a track meet.
No, dude, but this is a talent. Like this is time for like a Kaleki Hudson who's had some good moments. Let him play. Jabril Cox, let him play. He can't be no worse than what you put out there. Like, let these guys get their shot, and if they blow it, they blow it. Oh well. But it's nothing different than happened the last month again with your quote unquote core. So you still got Terry, you still got Gibson. I'm glad Jared Patterson was picked back up. Like you got those guys. Let those guys play. Like, lean on those guys. Don't put it all on Sam. And I think that was the fallacy of the whole season. They put too much on Sam Howell.
You know, I think I'm glad you said that too, because again, you let athletes be athletes, and you put your athletes on the side of the ball that you struggle on, which is the defense. Jabril Cox, very athletic. Khalil Hudson, very athletic. Those guys should be definitely playing. You know, for them to put pressure on Sam Howell, which is a total mistake by this organization, because we knew coming into it that it wasn't all about Sam Howell. That they had some holes in defense. They had some holes in the area. It's not like this team didn't see the holes that they had. And after week 3, it could have been corrected. You let it go on for another 9 weeks. That's on the organization. It's not on Sam Howell. Because after the Bears game, you knew there was a problem, and they should have went. They should have corrected it, self-corrected it, got rid of Jack Del Rio, brought some people in, do whatever you needed to do prior to this wheel falling off. But
absolutely.
So Felix, we talked about Chase. You're out there. Did you get the opportunity to see Chase?
I saw him warm up a little bit. I saw Trent. Trent went around. Trent's got a lot of people here. He was over on the commander sideline. He had some people he was close to here. He was speaking. He had such a smile. And I think everybody knows Trent, the ball player, but if you've been around the team, you know Trent's smile and Trent's energy. Yeah. He just has such a positive energy. He just looked happy to be here, happy to play. That's the one that kind of drew my attention. Chase kind of came out, did his normal routine, didn't do much. But Trent, you can see that this means a lot for him, because I think when they played Cup last year, they were in
San Francisco.
The year before that, the COVID year, they played in Arizona. I'm trying to think, did Trent play a game here?
No, he hasn't.
He played a game.
He hasn't. No, he hasn't. This is his first game of FedEx. This is his first game of FedEx.
So I think that's a little bit, it means a lot for him. I think a little bit more than it means for Chase, actually. So you can kind of see that.
Okay, that makes sense, because I mean he has played, and he was beloved. Trent was beloved here, so that's different.
I think there was very few that disliked Trent, and it was
exactly.
very small number.
Yeah, which is different.
Chase was never
polarizing. He's very polarizing.
Right, he was never the 100% fan favorite.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who like Chase, a lot of people who didn't.
Yeah,
there was very few people who disliked Trent.
A lot. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So for you, I mean, because I'm such a Trent fan, I love Trent. Everybody knows this, Yeah. Was that the worst mistake that this regime has ever, like Rivera regime, made by not keeping Trent?
Ooh, that's a long list of mistakes. I think it was definitely a fallacy not trying.
Yeah,
they should have been like, hey, we know what happened in that past. We're here to work with you. Try to build with us. You've been a cornerstone of this franchise. If they would have rolled out the red carpet and tried to do everything they can, and he said no, okay, then you tip your hat. Then you say the bridges were burned before I got here. But the kind of passive approach to him, he probably was like, hold up, I done damn near broke my neck for this team, and this is what I'm getting, of course I'm going to be out. And then, like I said, you gave him away for, I don't want to say essentially nothing, but you gave him away for a lot less than he's worth.
For nothing.
But
for nothing.
So, but for flip side though,
granted he was hurt and he was coming off that, the tumor thing and all of that stuff. Some guys you got to give respect to just because of what they've done. And I think Trent had got to that point where he's got the respect. No one's going to get mad at you as a new coach if you say, "Hey, we paid Trent $50 million."
No one get mad.
No one would have got mad.
No
one would have got mad.
No, I don't think anybody would got mad, but at the same time, I think when Ron came in, he already knew Trent was already out the door, and I think he figured that nothing he could say or do to help Trent Williams stay in this organization because of Trent's hate for Dan Snyder, because of Trent's hate with the medical staff for the way that he was treated, and that's why I think the halfway of rolling out the carpet for Trent Williams was because he figured, you know what, coming in here, there's nothing I can do to change this young man.
Well, Trent, so it's out there. See what I'm saying? The narrative, that's a narrative people use. But Trent did say, like Rivera said, like, give me 1 year, I need you to prove yourself. Like that was give me 1 year to prove yourself. And
I think the words "prove yourself" was wrong. I think you should have said, "Give me 1 year."
That's what I'm saying.
See how you respond to coming over the things that Felix listed, right? The trauma and all that.
Yeah, I get that. But I know people say, well, the Niners, they didn't pay him. It's different when you have tenure with a team. It's different. And what Felix is talking about, what he had to go through and what he had to do with that team, the tumor situation, it's the proving yourself thing doesn't matter when it comes to when you have Trent, because he's building your team. Like, he experienced all that with you. He didn't experience that with the Niners. So he does have to, in a way, prove himself to a new team. But this team, when he's done it for you, he has tenure. Like Felix said, he's been the best tackle in football in that time. Like, no one be mad if you pay for Trent. And we see what the payout has been during this regime. They've still been looking to get that type of protection on the left tackle.
I get Glenn's point, and I think the bridge may have been burned. But if Rivera comes out publicly and says, "Hey, we want to do everything we want to do to keep you here," just shoot the shot. Shoot the shot. Mm-hmm. Because at minimum it shows respect to Trent, like saying, "Hey, we value you, we want you," and if Trent decides to walk, that's Trent decides to walk. That's his grown man. But I think Rivera kind of knew that he probably wasn't going to stay. But even still, you show him respect enough to be like, "Hey, what is the need? What can we do? How can we make it work?" And if he decides not to make it work, we'll do the best for you to get you somewhere where you can. And it actually did get him to a place that worked out well for him. So I think there's just the approach.
I hope we ain't losing. Did we lose him?
I think we lost him.
And if you missed you missed it, but you shoot.
Did we lose Felix?
Yeah.
Did I go
Felix, you there? Yeah, you're going in and out. But Felix, we about to close out.
Wow.
You good? I know, I got you. We're about to close out anyway. Felix, thanks for being on, my man. We're gonna try to, hopefully get you on the last game of the season against the Cowboys. So thanks, man. Appreciate you. Oh, I think he's out. I think he's been out. All right.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was good, man. It's good intel. Actually, Raheem Morris is in LA.
He's in LA.
He's still in LA. So yeah, Rams.
California though.
Huh?
California.
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 You're right.
Yeah, California.
Still the back. Yeah, still out there, LA. You know what I'm saying? Still West Coast tripping, West Coast riding.
That was last week. It was last week.
Hey, it's been but he's right there. It's been in a way, it's been a reunion week, a couple weeks. Put it that way.
Yeah,
it's been a reunion
couple weeks.
That was a couple weeks ago. So yeah. But yeah, like Felix had a lot of interesting things to say. But I'm gonna ask you, Glenn. First off, are you in favor of Sam Howell getting another start as a starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders, especially against the Niners?
Yes. Today's Sunday, so I'm gonna go to church a little bit. Sometimes people mean things for your bad, but God is turning around for your good, right? So this might be a good day. This might be you wasn't a starter at first.
It's Sunday, bro.
It's a Sunday, right? You wasn't a starter at first, and now you're a starter, right? Sometimes prayer works. Sam Howell was somewhere praying, right? And he got an opportunity. He got an opportunity in this league, but not all seriousness.
Praise the Lord, man.
Praise the Lord. All seriousness, whatever's going on with Jacoby Brissett, hope it works out. Whatever his injury is, whatever the case may be. But it's good for Sam Howell today to try to step up. It's gonna be rough because the defense flies around. and this defense moves. This defense, and people are coming to take his head off, right? Chase Young, right? Because Chase Young has beat every one of these offensive linemen
in practice,
right? So it is good to see, but it's good to see how Chase. I'm looking for Sam Howell, not for the win, but I'm looking to see how he performs under the adversity of knowing that you were benched, and because of a sickness or injury to this next guy, within a week you're the starter again, right? I want to see how he bounces back. I want to see how Eric Bieniemy, now who has planned calling the game with Jacoby Brissett, go back to changing to call it with Sam Howell. I think it is good for Sam Howell to be a starter in this league. Like Phyllis answered the question, Sam Howell's auditioning as well.
Yeah,
definitely. He's auditioning to the next whoever the new GM is. He's maybe auditioning for a new team if they decide to trade, get rid of him, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And so Sam Howell's auditioning. He's a tough guy. Again, I'm going to keep saying this. We said this on the show all the time. He's essentially a rookie. Let's not count that one game he played last year. Give him the same respect that you're giving
any other
rookie this year, because Sam Howell is a rookie quarterback with the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, so we put the same question on our Facebook page. Todd Samuel said, "Yes, give us a better draft pick. Thanks to pick 6 Sam." Damn. We have a poll, and I'll read the poll. I'm happy that he's getting another opportunity. I feel like when I spoke to Lake Lewis, a Sports Journey's Commanders reporter, during the week, and Lake said, like these are the type of opponents you want a quarterback to go against if you believe he's your quarterback. Because if you don't want to play him against like a Niners or Cowboys defense, then he ain't him. And I totally agree. You know what I'm saying? Like I totally agree. I get like you want to protect folks, but sometimes you know like anything, right? You've already started him through this point, and tried to get the educational process rolling in terms of being a quarterback in this league. Well, now you're going against arguably one of the best top 5 defenses in the NFL, and the Niners are just in terms of a talent standpoint and what they can do to you when they're rolling. And then you're going to go against the Cowboys defense in the last week of the season. I think they'll probably play their players. I'm thinking they will.
They have to, right? They have to if they want to be able to move up.
So it's a good test for Sam Howell if he plays well today and then plays again next week. So I feel like this is a thing. I feel like, this is good. I want him to get this learning, this lesson. Like this is valuable. This is a valuable tool of the process of being a starting quarterback in the NFL. A lot of people are so negative on him, and I do think obviously like the way the situation is built up right now in terms of not having two of your tackles. So you're gonna have a makeshift offensive line. Your defense is missing a lot of players, so it's almost gonna be the same old. All right, we may have to have Sam win the game for us, if he could do it. But I do think, to your point, when having Patterson, Christian Rodriguez obviously out for the season. He was playing so well too. He looks like a keeper. I believe Brian Robinson is playing. Is Brian Robinson? I think Brian
Robinson should be playing.
Brian Robinson is playing. So you'll have Brian Robinson, Patterson. You'll have some guys, some running backs. So I feel like they will run the football, not because of Patterson, but I do think because of the offensive line and the situation and so many people missing. I do think they're going to run the football a lot more, and because of Sam Howell too, just knowing that he holds the ball a little bit. So I do think they'll run the ball a bit more. I
think it's different when you got Brian Robinson in the lineup.
I do think so. That too. That's a lot different. It's a lot different.
I believe Tyler Larson is starting at center today.
Is he? I thought he was out. Is he starting?
Yeah, I didn't see him on the inactive list, so I think he is playing. That helps a little bit because he's better than Nick Gates.
Yeah, and Sam Howell plays better with him on the field. I'm checking right now. I didn't know. I knew it wasn't an act. I didn't know he was on the IR for the season. That's why.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's
no. He's not. He's not playing.
Oh,
he's on IR. He's on IR.
He's on IR. Never mind. Then we got Nick Gates. So.
Yeah, Nick Gates. That's what I thought. So yeah. So Leno and Larson are on IR. So I just feel like So, but it's still a learning. It's a way to. It's still he gets to learn from this. So I'm happy. I am happy. And if he doesn't win, he doesn't win. But at least he's getting that. Because at the end of the day, what are you playing for? Like by playing Brissett or whoever. I'm being honest. Like it's good for Brissett. It is. It's good for Brissett to play because, like we all said, to put good work on film. So you're doing, as Ron, you're doing a player a great favor. In terms of the team and Sam Howell, he needs this. He does. He just needs this. You know what I mean? Like, you're not benching. Yeah, like you said, if he was a first round pick, they're not talking about sitting him. They're going to give him the last 2 games. They're not going to say we're sitting our first round pick. No, they're going to play
Carolina ain't sitting my man.
Yeah, they're not sitting. Yeah, they're not sitting. Bryce Young. They're not sitting Bryce Young. You know what I mean? So
and they terrible.
And they're terrible. So like that's why I get so annoyed. And we talked about this before, but I get so annoyed at the Sam Howell like hate. I'm like, dude, you asking this dude to carry a whole franchise. Like, you're not even like, think about this. You're asking a rookie, I don't care your draft. I don't care who your status is, to be a good team, to carry your franchise to be a good team.
But you know what? It's what's funny is the same people who's talking that noise were the same people that want to keep Heineke.
Exactly. It's the same thing. Like, Heineke didn't have the worst defense in the NFL. He wasn't playing with the worst defense in the NFL. No. Wasn't playing, but like this line is arguably worse than last year's line. So I'm just like, what are we? I don't know, man. It's crazy to me. It's crazy talk. But if he again, I'm happy to keep to stay to the subject matter. I'm happy that he's getting this opportunity. I think it's a good thing. I'm gonna try to go. I'm actually gonna look up our poll on X. Actually, I'm gonna pull that up right now because it's right here. Poll on X, and it has actually how many people? So it has in terms of that question, 78% are happy that he's starting. 22% has said no.
I agree with the 78%. I mean, let them start. Sometimes you got to let them people ride out there. You got to let it ride it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He started the season. Let him ride it out. Right?
Yep.
Let him finish. Take his lumps. Again, we went through a list on the podcast. Y'all need to check it out. A lot of quarterbacks who started off taking lumps their first season and end up turning that stuff around. You know, we talk about Peyton Manning taking lumps his first season, right?
Yep.
Throwing like what 27 interceptions. It was some crazy number. Led the league in interceptions, put it that way. Again, it takes time. It's a learning curve. He'll be okay.
Yeah, George, the same people that wanted to pay Kirk Cousins a load of cash too.
Yeah,
they still do, man.
they
still do. I mean, I don't.
Kirk Cousins was the best thing in the world, man.
Yeah, I mean, they still do. I think Kirk Cousins would like for the money. They should have signed Kirk Cousins off the rip, but like for the money afterwards, nah. Not to if you're trying to achieve the ultimate goal. Like, look at the Niners. The Niners are barely paying quarterbacks, and they're one of the favorites to get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. So it is what it is. Steve also about that said. Steve Fox on X said, "Can't wait. Hoping he plays great. Never should have made a change in the first place. He's something Ron, trash coach, and worst talent evaluator."
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it was an explicit word, so I just wanted to say I just said something Ron, but you get the gist of it. That's what Steve put out there on X. So yeah, I think I agree. I think Ron should have never. To be honest with you, I don't think Sam Howell should have ever been benched. I just don't think it's at this point of the season. It didn't matter. Have a comment also. George, what's up? George said, "Good afternoon, guys. Did you see or hear about the video after USC win? The youth players was saying we a team now, referring to Caleb Williams' selfishness. I've seen it. I don't think it's anything big to do about anything. Again,
he's not the first player.
He's not the first player. And let's keep this a buck, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. When you talented, bro. When you him. Like, I'm gonna say this because a lot of people just are like, because I feel like this, when you're supposed to be the overall number 1 pick in the draft, so team like everyone has you, like all this stuff starts to come out. This happens often in the NFL. Like your agents, they put your opposing agents leak this out to help their client. This happens all the time. But this now, people are gonna jump on, and it's gonna be a big thing now, right? It's gonna be a big thing now, and I'm gonna say this as an individual who's because Caleb Williams is from the DMV, from individuals who have seen him play as a youngster. I have friends who are coaches who coaches high school football, all types of levels in football in the DMV. They've said this dude was him off the rip. Went to Oklahoma, he was him off the rip. He went to USC, he was him off the rip. I've always said there is a thing where if you would do this in almost every level, at the highest level, like every level, the highest level, chances are you're gonna be one of those dudes. So if you're gonna say like, yeah, that's a problem. I'm gonna say this I'm gonna say this like I say about anything, especially when it comes to the Commanders. I don't care about character guys. Be real with you, I don't. Character guys don't win me football games. They don't. Look at Ron Rivera. He's got a bunch of character guys. They don't win me football games.
But I'm gonna say it this way: at a certain point, when does the college athlete start looking out for him? Right? The university. No one's talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. not playing. He opted out of the Cotton Bowl,
and
he didn't play the Cotton Bowl. A lot of players do this all the time when they think they're gonna get to the next level. Now, if Caleb Williams goes out there and gets smacked because USC got smacked, he gets concussed, he breaks a leg, he does something of that nature, right? Is that selfishness? But if they was playing for a national championship,
you know what he's referring to though, right? You know who he's referring to, right? Not even that. He's referring to what the backup quarterback said after the game. Like, we're a team now. He said that we're a team now because all the attention's been on Caleb Williams.
Because he's the backup quarterback. He's the backup quarterback.
Yeah. So he threw like 5 touchdowns, 6 something touchdowns now, and everybody's like excited about it.
But they lost. But they still lost though. I think.
They won. They won
a bowl game.
They won a bowl game.
Mm-hmm. I thought they lost a bowl game. But no, that was Ohio State that lost. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you go ahead though. I just want to make sure you knew what he's referencing though. But I know.
Yeah. But even then though, we got a backup quarterback who's talking about a guy who's going to the NFL, right?
Yeah.
What's better? We live in a day and age of sound bites and media takes.
We do, bro.
And so people say things, sound bites, media takes to get their name out there. He had one game. If he was better than Caleb Williams, you wouldn't have been the backup quarterback.
I agree.
So again, players can be selfish. Players take this out. It's business, right? College sports is business, right? If you have opportunity to go to the next level, it is totally business. And I don't knock a guy for making that decision for a bowl game. Truth be told, can we be honest? Yeah. Unless you're playing for a national championship,
it don't matter.
The bowl game is
nowadays
just a glorified exhibition.
It's because it's different now. It's a different time. And also I'll say this though too. We're in a different era too with NIL. That a lot of players, like when you're that guy, when college football makes you, and don't get it twisted, college football made him the poster boy. He was on commercials and everything. Like that boy was a poster boy. So when that happens, the attention won't be on your franchise period. When you're the best, when people acknowledge you as the next Patrick Mahomes, and college football is endorsing you, like we saw the commercials, like on national TV. That's not just a Caleb thing. That's so the attention was given to Caleb Williams by not just your local outlets, but from the national media. So it wasn't. So I get like we're a team now, but don't get it twisted. Like, yeah, everybody's gonna put Caleb in front of you because of NIL and what college football did. If Peyton Manning was in NIL back in the day, if he had that when he was in Tennessee, they was making him the face of college football like that year. He would have been. Everybody talked about Peyton Manning and not the Tennessee Titans, and they had like good players. They had like Pierce, the wide receiver. Like it would have been about Peyton Manning, and not even in a big way. So I'm just saying, like we got to pump our brakes when we try to look at these bites and stuff, because now people are trying to attach themselves to everything. I don't care about your character. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't care. I just don't care. Like that's not a thing. Like for me. Like we have played. Tom Brady yells at like referees and players and stuff. We're not saying that nothing about Tom Brady. Like I'm just saying like it does nothing for me. All I care about, can you slang that thing? Can you give me game winning drives? Can you be a franchise quarterback? That's all I care about when it comes to Caleb Williams. So Washington, he ain't going like at the way it's set up right now. Washington stays at 4 because of the Cowboys beating the Lions. Don't worry about Caleb Williams, folks. Washington won't be getting him. I don't think they'll be trading up either. I think at 4 they can get a stud regardless. They can get a Hall of Fame type player in this draft. This draft is that good.
They should get offensive lineman. F4.
Oh, everybody, Lincoln Riley. Oh, I like this one. George had another one. Should Harris go after Coach Riley from USC, and how you think he would do in the NFL? He's just took a no-name quarterback and he threw for 6 touchdowns. Can you say he's a good? He is. I'll say this much. So let me answer this one. I would consider it. I won't lie to you. You know why I would consider it? Because he is. He has a good track record when it comes to quarterbacks. Kyler Murray. He's had Kyler Murray. He's had I believe he's had Baker Mayfield. He's had Baker. He's had Baker. All of his quarterbacks of late have done pretty well in the NFL. Have had some type of good run in the NFL, and now Caleb Williams is going to be the first pick overall. So, or should be the first pick overall. He's done pretty, and Baker was a walk-on at the time too. Like Baker wasn't a highly touted recruit coming into college. So he definitely has gotten. I know this I've heard this already, rumblings prior for a couple of years. The NFL has wanted this dude. Like this dude is out there, and his scheme, his set, the way he coaches offense. From folks more knowledgeable than me, it translates in the NFL. That's what I've heard. I do think he would be a good one. But depending on your franchise, it has to be the right franchise, though.
Right.
It has to be the right franchise.
It translates to the NFL, and I'm glad you said that because you segued to what I was going to say. It has to be the right franchise.
Yeah.
Washington Commanders don't need a young, inexperienced college coach coming into this organization as their first job in the NFL.
Okay.
They need a vet. They need a veteran type coach who can establish some things, set some things in order, and run a foundation with this organization and steer them in the right direction. You don't need the coach Lincoln Riley. Nothing against him. Good guy, young coach, 40 years old. Good, young guy. Oklahoma did some good things in Oklahoma. Doing some good things.
Turn around quick at USC.
Yeah, turn around at USC. But could he be the guy for some of these older guys dealing with contracts, dealing with GMs? It's different from coaching college.
No,
kids.
I agree. I agree.
NFL,
I agree.
And your organization has new ownership, and you're trying to bounce around or you turn around. This is not the first job to be at when you want to turn an organization around.
I agree with George. So this is what I'm talking about. Different situation. I think he could. It depends on what the GM It depends what Josh Harris does. Lincoln Riley needs a strong front office, agree, and an experienced defensive coordinator to succeed in the NFL. So that's what I'm saying. I agree with that. That's what I'm talking about. Like you got to do. So to your point, if you can bring in Lincoln Riley, I don't think you have an issue with bringing, but you have to. All right, I'm gonna use an example. You got to do what the Rams did with Sean McVay. Put it that way. If you want a Lincoln Riley, you got to do what the Rams did with Sean McVay. Like you have to bring in a bunch of some good vets, good coach, good defensive coordinator, which they did, and you can win when we Lincoln Riley. You got to do the same thing that the Rams did with Sean McVay.
Can he win over not only the organization? Can he win over the city? And can he win over the fans?
Oh, he could. Lincoln Riley's that good. Like Sean McVay's the same. They're similar. They're very similar. But you like for instance, Sean McVay doesn't win if the Washington had the same regime, like, and they didn't pay for nothing. Sean McVay doesn't win in Washington. I don't care how good Sean McVay is in terms of a play caller, because you're not building things around Sean McVay. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to build. Like if you're gonna bring in a young coach, you got to make just like a quarterback, like a young quarterback. If you want a young quarterback to win, you got to give him the best offensive. You have to give a good offensive line. You got to make sure you have to give him a good defense, not a sound, but a good defense, and then you can see what a young quarterback can do in terms of wins and losses.
Right, you got to put people around him, as George has mentioned. That's my thing is to put him in. How much is Josh Harris and the organization is going to put around a young coach, or do you want somebody who can build his team? Because remember, these are not NFL guys, right? Josh Harris. Remember, Josh Harris is not an NFL guy. Magic's not an NFL guy. So they're gonna bring NFL guys in. So you're gonna have to get a staff of NFL guys to build your team, not someone who's coming new into the NFL.
Well, that's gonna be the GM's job, to be real with you, not Josh Harris's job.
Yeah,
it's the guy you hire.
But Josh Harris got to hire the GM.
Got to hire the GM. Got to hire the GM. He's got to hire the right GM. But he's gonna have people that he can trust to help him get the right. Well, we don't know. He's the unknown. Let's keep it a buck. He's the unknown. He's the unknown. So for me to say like he gonna do whatever, he's an analytical dude, so it's different.
He's an analytic dude. Yeah, he can punch it in his computer. Yeah, whatever AI kicks out and analytics tells him to do, that's what he's gonna do. Yeah,
exactly. So we talked about returning players for the Niners. Trent Williams, Chase Young, first games back at FedEx for real. First game back at FedEx. So what do you expect from the two players, man?
Oh, Trent's gonna be Trent, consistency. Trent's gonna do what Trent does, and which is Trent Williams gonna be consistent. Probably won't get to Brock that much. And then what we'll see is, I think you mentioned on the podcast, which I agree with, we'll probably see more Chase Young today, not just on third downs. Yeah, I think we'll see more Chase just because it's homecoming, and as Felix and you alluded to, Shanahan hates his organization.
Yeah, he does. I think. And this is a question for you too in the chat, but go ahead though. I want you.
And so he's going to do anything he can to make this organization look bad. Plus, They got thumped last week, and so when you get thumped, is an opportunity for you to thump somebody else. And so, that's what it is.
So there's a question for you on the chat. It's about our last discussion. So we don't need Lincoln Riley. Who you think will fit DC? This for you, Glenn.
For me, who fits DC?
Yeah. That's actually really available. Like not wishful thinking.
No.
Because we won't say Tomlin, but I don't think Tomlin's gonna be really available.
No. Tomlin's not gonna be available. I like Philly's defensive coordinator, man, Sean Desai.
Okay.
I do like him. I think he's good with what he's done with Philadelphia, what he's done in Philly. I like to see, and he's a brother too. So, so I like to see him come in and might be a coach there. But he's been in the league for a while. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind if Ben Johnson is available.
For the Lions, okay.
Yeah, from the Lions. If he's available, I wouldn't mind seeing him come in. And if I had to go veteran coach, somebody who's been around the block or someone that's been there. I wouldn't do Belichick. I really would do EB. Okay. I mean, to me, and I say this, it is different when you are the assistant head coach, and because there's still some things you cannot do. There's some parameters you can't say. There's some things that you can't do because again, Ron is the guy. If they promote you to the head coach now, you can bring in your staff, you can bring in your team, you can bring in your people who think like you, who walk like you, who talk like you, who can connect to you. And so therefore you'll see that's why I think EB could do it because his whole staff is not there, right? And so those are the people that I would like to see. Brian Flores. It will be another guy I like to see come in.
I like Brian Flores too,
who I think could do well in this organization. So just a few people there. Morris is not coming back to this organization, so I'm not even going to put his name out there. But I think he could do something with his organization well with the right offensive coordinator. So those are the type of people that I'm looking for in an organization. Somebody who's been in the league for a while, who knows how the league operates and know how it works, and who's not looking for a GM job, but is looking for just to be coach players and to win in this league. And I think.
Go ahead.
And I think that's what the team needs, coaches who are willing to win in the league.
All right, one more question for you before we go to the next topic. He says, George said, how about the OC from Baltimore? He came from Georgia.
Yeah, but I think he's only been in Baltimore 1 year, and they're doing well.
Yeah, it's been 1 year.
They're not letting him go. I mean, Lamar's having an MVP season under this guy. Give or take, the Baltimore Ravens are what? They're 14-2.
The team is playing well. The team is playing very well.
The team is playing very well. Lamar's doing great offensively. He's not running as much, but he's running when needed, and he's passing very well. So, I don't think Baltimore's letting him go. It's better if they get to the Super Bowl like people predicted them to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Lamar's played well. I think. I mean, in terms of for him, I think. Oh well, you know what? 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 66%. I mean, I guess stats wise, sometimes Lamar I feel like could be a little better. I feel like some of his passing games I'm not like really enamored with, but I guess you know what, he could be. I think dude's definitely raised his stock, so I won't even debate it. So in terms of we talk like you said, Trent. I feel like I'm with you with Trent. I think Trent's going to play well. I think Chase. Well, I already said I'm not going to be redundant. Same thing you said about Chase. I think Chase is going to get a lot of snaps, and we'll see what that does.
No,
Kyle will be doing some wild stuff. I know that much. Go ahead. What did you say?
I'm about to say. I mean, me personally, I hope Chase doesn't get any sacks. I mean, just based off of this, but I think Chase does get a couple. They're going to open this. It's really going to be. They're going to open this offense up today.
Yeah, they are.
You'll see a lot of Christian McCaffrey. You see a lot of Deebo Samuels, Aku. You're gonna see this offense.
Ayuk.
And the problem is, even when you cover those guys, you still got George Kittle.
That's the problem. He's the problem to me. He killed them last game. He's the problem.
Yeah, he killed him last game. Kittle's the problem.
That's the problem. That's the extreme problem.
They don't have enough on defense to stop what the San Francisco 49ers is about to put on them this afternoon.
They definitely don't. And we already know they botched coverage, so something's going to happen. Speaking of secondary, with safety Percy Butler being out, it's expected that Terrell Burgess will replace him. Rookie and second round pick Quan Martin played safety at a high level at Illinois. Wouldn't you like to see this dude play safety in the NFL, play alongside Cam Curl?
Yeah, man, put him at safety. What do you have to lose, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Gives you opportunity to let somebody else play corner. You let him play safety, and let's just fall away again. We talk about this. These next 2 games are audition games, right? They audition.
Yeah.
These people are auditioning for whoever. Because I'm not heart of hearts. I believe Josh Harris already has who he wants as GM.
I think so. I think he's
already knows GM. He already knows his next head coach. He's just waiting until next Monday or next Sunday night, whatever the season is done for Ron Rivera. Ron should be packing his office right now. The moving truck should be coming in, and his office should be bare because next week he's done. So I think the GM is where is that? So
I feel like I definitely want him to see him playing safety. I've been clamoring for this for a while. This dude, that's what he played in Illinois. That's what he's a 2nd round pick, and you have him playing nickel at a position where that wasn't his main position in college, and you picked him in 2nd round.
This is
2nd round nickel. Like, I mean, really?
This is where Jack Del Rio and Robin Veer had me scratching my head at, right?
Yeah,
because they knew you had people in the house that could play those positions.
You did, yep.
You had people in the house that played positions, and you wasted a draft pick on a guy who's not playing. Where you should have picked up a linebacker, you should have picked up an offensive lineman.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? You already had safety. You had Percy Butler, right? You had Percy Butler, who's
not even you could, or you had a Defoe. That's your starter.
Defoe, right? Yeah, Defoe. Yeah, Defoe. You had people that was here who hadn't been here long, who's still trying to prove themselves in position, and you bring somebody else in. That's why I had a problem. And even the Emmanuel Forbes pick, I like it, and I think it will pan out eventually. But again, that's not what you spend your first rounder on because he knew as a GM that he needed an offensive line. He knew that he needed a linebacker. He knew all these things, and so by coming into here and doing that, that's why Ron Rivera should just be fired for the simple fact of the stupidity.
No, I agree. George also put out there. I think we might get a few personnel people from Baltimore. I agree. I agree.
You should. I think
I've been asking, like, come on, man. They got to win them. They got a winning formula over there.
The culture works. The culture works.
It works, regardless of what It works, man. It works. It really does. They have a winning process over there. So I would love to get a couple people from Baltimore, to be honest with you. But yeah. I just think, like we talked about, it's foolish. I think, to your point, I think you had great valid points about what Rivera has done here with the draft picks. Your 2nd rounder, if he's not going to impact your team as a player, then you messed up. Same as a player that year. Same for your 1st rounder. If he's not a quarterback, right? I feel like if it's a defensive player, you messed up. I'm sorry. If it's a defensive player, like quarterback, I can kind of see you want to sit. Like a 1st round quarterback doesn't have to play in year 1. But a wide receiver, like I feel like if you get like a wide receiver, running back, if they ain't starting for you off the rip, you messed up. Like that's like if it's to a point where, and you're not super talented at wide receiver, they're not starting, or same for then you messed up. And so you messed up with Quan Martin. There was no, and it's not like the people ahead of Quan Martin. I guess Defoe would be one, but he was starting to struggle. The people right now. The people now that are out there like a Percy Butler, like these dudes aren't. You can't say like they're like household names. Like Quan Martin should be playing. Like to me, he should be playing. He's playing at nickel, but he should be starting safety. What's up, Tyler Roberts? Let's go, DC. Yeah, I hope. It's gonna be a tough. It's gonna be a tough.
It's always let go DC on this show.
Yeah,
but we also real. It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be real tough, bro. It's gonna be real tough. So, Glenn, give me your keys for Commander competitive game. I'm gonna say victory, bro. Competitive game.
Everybody in San Francisco got jet lag and got food poisoning.
Yeah, I feel like they gotta underestimate Washington. I kind of really think
I think for Washington, in order for Washington to compete in this game, these are things that need to take place, right?
Yeah.
Sam Howell needs to get the ball out quick.
True.
Every offense, every run the football. You know that was coming. Yeah. And your guys like Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, even his base player, right? He's out.
He's playing. He sucks.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put it this way: Logan Thomas can't drop footballs, right?
Both of them dudes. That's what I'm saying. Like,
right, they can't drop footballs.
Both of them dudes, man. Like,
they can't drop football.
I'm not even gonna say Logan suck. I ain't gonna say Logan suck, but Logan don't suck. But he drops. He drops balls, passes, he fumbles. Like, But Bates, he could just block. Like all that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He could just block. All like trusting him to catch. If I'm Sam, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't throwing that dude the ball like that for real. I'm not. Like I'm throwing him like the most fluff passes. I'm not drilling nothing to him because he's just not reliable. He's not reliable hands catching tight end. I'm sorry. He just
only two you have active is Bates in Logan.
Because Turner, they inactivated Turner today.
Turner's out. Turner's your best catching
tight end. He's your best catching tight end, which still bothers me when you ain't playing for nothing. Like, I get it, though, because you're playing against the Niners, so you do want to block and tight end. But I don't even care anymore. Like, for real, play him.
But in order for this team to be competitive, those things need to take place. And defensively, let the young athletic guys that's been on this roster all year that have not played, Jabril Cox, Khalil Hudson, let them play. Let them loose.
Let them loose. All right, real quick, Glenn. So, give me your fantasy player the other day. Like, I'm gonna put George put out there, Jahan Dotson. So I'm gonna put his out there. So who's your fantasy player? My
fantasy player today is gonna be the bounce back kid. Put him in your rock. Put him in there. 4 minutes you got left. Sam Howell.
All right, Sam Howell. All right. Yes, my man said. For me, my George said. Other George said there's been a lot of drop passes this year. I know, trash. Like them tight ends, like they haven't. Other than Turner's been the one who can catch. I'm gonna say Brian Robinson Jr.
Okay,
he's fresh. He's back. It's gonna be a running type of team. I don't think they're gonna put. I don't think to your point. I don't think they want to get Sam hit by Bosa. Forget just Chase. Bosa, Chase, Arms. I think Armstead playing. Armstead's playing.
Keep San Francisco offense off the field. Run the football.
Run the football as best as you can. Because they got Warner, they got a mob. So running football is best as you.
What Deion say? You either got leaders or you got dogs.
Yep, they got dogs.
They got dogs.
That's for y'all folks who care about character. We got character. We don't got dogs.
We got dogs.
we got lots of character. We got no dogs though. We got lots of character.
You trade the dogs. You trade the dogs away.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach Rivera, for your character. Love your character. We're gonna check out. We're about to be off, but don't forget to tune out. Don't forget to tune into our post game show directly after the game. We'll be on YouTube, Facebook, and X Live. Also subscribe to our podcast. X Live directly after the game. Again, directly after the game. Also subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Gold or anything. Also, tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And like our All Burgundy and Gold Everything Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Gold Everything YouTube channel as well. Thank you all for tuning in. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene at Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. We out.